A very good afternoon to our lecturers from UTAR, from University Miranda, my fellow friends and classmates. Today I will be presenting on the self-sufficient neighborhood post-COVID-19. This is a response toward the current pandemic. So before we begin, here's a video of the whole site. Please enjoy. For the general concept of this project, I've decided to approach it in a way that the spaces create a flexible yet safe environment for the residents. That is why I have decided to use a three-step rule I have learned from my last semester and modify it to suit the project, which is to define, implement, and transform. For the site, I've split it into two, creating a public and private space, splitting the population into 50%, decreasing the chances in case of the spread of the virus. Here is an example of the way that the space transformation takes place in terms of the COVID-19 response. More entrances are created to prevent crowd gathering at only one entrance. Buffer areas are integrated into the building to create a more organized entry and curved entrances to act as a semi-enclosure. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the outcome of the neighborhood. This is the site plan of the neighborhood. As you can see, the public space and private space are specifically separated and more entrances are created for better people path flow. And as for the apartment, it is angled at one corner to have a more welcoming effect. The building is then split into two blocks to decrease spread by 50%. This also allows for better wind flow and solar exposure through the apartments. The blocks are then pushed back and front vice versa for an even better solar exposure, which will have tenants in their mini garden. The bottom quarters are made hollow from the market space and farming activities. The core structure is then added to support and sustain the building from below. The open market concept and mini farming is implemented to the second floor of the building to provide the essentials needs to the residents without them having to leave the building at all. Instead of them going out, the food comes to them. The main lobby is an open concept as well. This is where the columns of the buildings can be seen and exposed as well. The different leveling in the center of the building plays a special part in socially distancing the residents and customers. As for the building structure, the foundation together with the 8 main columns will be concrete with steel reinforcement, and for the rest of the following structure will be made of wood. Here we have the apartment layout. As you can see on one floor, the 8 units are divided into 2 sides, thus decreasing the risk of spread by 50% as well. And in one unit, the space can be divided into another 50%, as well as in case the apartment is needed to quarantine someone who was infected. Now we have the outdoor market, clinic, and farming area. These are kept in the same area for those around the site, outside the site, or residents to use as well. The clinic is for people to check up whenever they enter the sites to check the temperature, whether they have COVID or not. The farming and the market are correlated so they can supply food to them in an easier manner. These are all kept at one site for better flow and, of course, for easier access for the customers and residents. As for the clinic, it is right at the entrance for the other areas to make it easier for customers to test for the virus. There is a semicircular roof to spread out the customers in the buffer area to allow more social distancing. The roof has a better solar exposure as well. There is also sun panels on the roof to make it more of an eco-friendly environment. And of course, the buffer area outside of the clinic helps keep social distancing at a very good manner. And as for the market, it is the semicircular space that separates three spaces: customers, vendors, and supply area. This will decrease the interaction between buyers and suppliers more, as well as spreading out the people using the semicircular movement. As you can see, there are three spaces on the right hand corner that is divided: the red, the blue, and the green. The red is for the customers, the blue is for the vendors, and the green is for the suppliers. These three people do not come in contact more physically than previously. And as for the farm, it is a very open space with a semi-solar permeable roof for better solar penetration for the crops, and solar panels right on the roof for better and eco-friendlier environment. Now this is the transformation for the gym and cafe area. There is a buffer area in between these two buildings, as well as a bridge to connect the two spaces. The buffer area is of course for better social distancing instead of gathering at one entrance for both the spaces. The cafe area allows people to enter from any corner of the site and also dine inside and above as well. With the separating of people using two floors, indoors and outdoors, there is a 25% decrease in risk in case of a spread. That way, people are able to spread out more and enter the site or enter the building with different entrances as well. And as for the gym, it is two floors as well, decreasing the risk by 50%. And there are multiple entrances to the space, including the bridge and two entrances from the bottom.
So, in conclusion, designing and planning a residential space in this pandemic is very crucial in terms of social distancing the residents and allowing them to have freedom of space at the same time. With proper planning of space and how it interconnects with each other by defining the space, implementing the COVID response, we will be able to transform the space from a problem into a solution that helps everyone and, of course, stop the spread of the virus itself. And of course, we hope that we will give, as architects, we hope that we can give as much help as we can towards the current pandemic. With all that, I'd like to thank University Marmadewa, to all my lecturers for watching this presentation. Thank you.